why, you know, it's the feeling of the music that generates that action, the response. And that's what's missing when people dance. If you don't, you know, dance to the music, then why are you moving? You know, without the music, it's just aerobics. You can just do a workout, it doesn't matter. You know, that's why they call it musicality. Musicality isn't memorizing the song, it's feeling the music of the song and becoming a part of the music. And that's what gets lost. When you see in a contest, people wait for just parts of the song to do accents. But if you play something that they don't know, then they don't know how to dance to it.
Yeah, really.
And what about other styles, not only hip-hop? There are lots of styles that usually dance not only music and just energy, something, you know?
Well, I don't really discuss like ballet or modern dance because those, even though those are social dances, they don't depend upon the music. But street dance, there is no street dance without the music. That's why it's named or it's applied to the music. That's why they call, you know, Pete came up with the term funk styles, because popping and locking and strutting and whacking all came into creation because of that music. Without that music, you don't have those styles. You know, hip hop is named after the culture, which is named, you know, it's named after the music. We only danced, we called it hip hop because we danced to hip hop music. You didn't do these steps when they played funk. If they played Planet Rock, you didn't do these steps, you know. If they played Just Begun, you didn't do these steps. You started breaking or top rocking or up rocking, you know. But when they played, you know, Big Daddy Kane or Rakim or De La Soul, that's when you did these steps. So that's why it was called hip hop. The same thing with house. The dance was generated by the sound of the music, you know, and in street dance culture, it's based entirely on the music. It's the same thing with salsa. It's called salsa because of the music.
Okay, and I will ask about, you know, old school and about this time hip hop music. And it's different, these different energies than was in 20 years before, you know. And what about that? What about new forms of hip hop music? And body.
And what?
And body.
And body. Oh,
Connection.
There have been, I can speak from the standpoint of New York and LA. In New York, there's a dance, it's about 3 or 4 years old. It's called Getting Light. It has its own vocabulary. It's a hip hop dance because they do it to only the hip hop music. They do it to, you know, what's her name, Little Mama, and remix Chris Brown, and all of this new R&B / hip hop music. It has an entirely different feel to it. But the steps, if you look at them, some of them are exactly the same as steps that we did 20 years ago. And then the steps that we were doing 20 years ago were done 50 years before to Lindy Hop and jazz. So literally, there's no real true movement. There's not real true movement. There's no real new movement. All of the movements are based on or inspired by something that has already happened. What changes the movement is the kind of music. So every time the music changes, the dance changes to you know, coincide with it. So that's where you get new ideas, new forms, but it's still based on the same foundation, the music. You know, if you're not...
The form sometimes is different.
Yeah, the form will always change. I mean, human beings are the form, so nobody in here is exactly
but
like.
If the form don't change, that means you ain't listening to the music.
Because the music is changing. Yeah, but that's the point. We don't dance like we danced 20 years ago.
We can't.
I mean, I had people that had actually asked me, how come you guys don't dance like that? I'm like, because I've grown.
The music changed.
Yeah, but not all people know that you was dancing 20 years ago like French do it now.
Well,
yeah,
that's
because everybody saw it.
That's another story.
Well, after today, you will know because we have that documentary to show we was dancing like that 20 years ago.
Jūs suprantat? Iš tikrųjų, jie šoka prieš 20 metų taip, kaip prancūzai šoka dabar. Tai, kai jie nori pasakyti, kad dabar jie nešoka taip, kaip prieš 20 metų, nes muzika pasikeitė. Bet prancūzai šoka taip, kaip jie prieš 20 metų, nes jie to nesupranta. Štai, ką norėjau pasakyti. Ir jūs galite įsitikinti, jisai pasakė, jūs pamatysite, jūs galite pažiūrėti net YouTube'ą, Rake and Shop Live. Jūs galite pamatyti, kaip jie juda. Jie juda taip, kaip prancūzai juda dabar Prancūzijai. Bet niekas to nežino, nes niekas nesidomi. Ir būtent jie atvežė hip-hopą į Prancūziją. Suprantat, Link buvo vienas iš pirmų just debutų teisėjų. We have the problem because everybody looks at the French dancers. And the French and just debut and another stuff like this.
No, not at all. I think the French are great, but the problem is, put it this way, I know how to lock. I taught myself locking, then I learned more from Greg Campbell and Sugar Pop and Don Campbell. But I would never consider myself the equal of the lockers. They created the dance, it's theirs. No matter how good I am at it, it's not my dance. So I'm not their equal because I learned it from them. I don't look at, I know how to pop, but I don't put myself in the conversation with the electric boogaloos because they're older than I am. That's their dance. No matter how much I know of it, I'm an extension of them. What happens with the French is they want you to think that everything that they're doing, they created. And
I respect that, but I see a lot of new and young dancers. They dance much better than
well,
and
there are new and young dancers that you've never seen that are incredible. People tend to watch YouTube and think YouTube is the world. There's so many people that aren't on YouTube. And another thing, there's so many dancers in France that never get seen because they can't get into Just Debut. They can't get into the count, they can't make it through the pre-selection because the judges are biased against them. I met a guy, a young dancer from France, his name is Keskia, in Norway. It's the first time I'd ever seen him. He was incredible. I'm like, where have you been all this time? How come I've never seen you? He's like, nobody ever picks me. I was like, that's ridiculous. But that's what happens. It's based on fear of being overshadowed. You know, one of the things that's really silly is to think that if somebody else gets their shine, their moment, that somehow takes away from your moment. You know, that's just fear. It's ridiculous. If he's dancing and he's getting off, I'm having a ball. I don't have to dance. But that doesn't mean because he danced that I can't dance or that lessens me in any way, shape, or form. It's ridiculous. But that's the motivation behind the French. And it's not all of the French dancers. It's just a certain set that want to monopolize their control over Europe. You know, for years, they would come to New York, learn all of what directly from us.
And leave.
And come back here and teach and tell everybody and perform. And people think, oh, they're incredible. That stuff that they're doing is great. It's theirs. It got to a point where one of the dancers from the States came and he was doing a show. And the guy told him, why are you doing his moves? Those aren't your moves. You're biting. You know, and when he started to dance and he started to show off and really get into it, then they started to see, well, damn, he's doing a lot more than this guy did. He has a lot more moves. And then he, you know, explained, well, I'm the original. What you're looking at is the copy. You know.
Jums švers visiems, ar jūs suprat, ką jis turėjo minėti? Jau, kad labai daug